Hi, I'm Norm Corrie. You're watching Maroondah Llove Dialogues. The dialogues are brought to you in part by a grant from the Maroondah City Council. Love Dialogues, what are they? Love Dialogues is the love of one, the unconditional love of one, communicated to the unconditional love of other with unconditional love. Today we're speaking with Sister Corrie van den Bosch, who's a missionary sister of service. Thanks, Corrie. Now, we've spoken before, and we've spoken about love, and we've spoken about hope and forgiveness. In that line, gratitude seems to be up there as well. Can we have a talk about gratitude from your life and your life experience?
We certainly can. Can you imagine life without gratitude? It'd be pretty miserable, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no.
And I think gratitude is what brings joy into life.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't start with gratitude. It starts with appreciation.
Okay, yeah.
Because if I really notice the sort of things and events and people that give me gratitude,
Mm-hmm.
then gratitude follows. But so often we can take things for granted and we miss the clues.
Yes.
You know, I wake up every morning, have done now for quite a number of years, and my first thought is, thank God I've got another day of life.
Yep.
And in a sense, it's that gratitude that colours my day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, there's so much you can say about gratitude that you think, where do I start? Because I think we live in an amazing world.
Yeah.
And the people who are part of our lives are amazing people.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they might be fumblers and bumblers and they might make mistakes. They will make mistakes just like I do.
Mm.
But sometimes that's all we see.
Mm. Yeah.
But you look a little deeper and you see that the amazing beauty of a person.
Yeah.
And you know, you watch, I go for a walk every morning, early in the morning, and lots of people walk their dogs.
Yeah.
And one woman I know, she walks her dog and she's got a little dog who's quite old and lame.
Mm.
So, you know, the walk goes very slowly. But before she walks her dog, if I'm early enough, she does the same route, jogging by herself.
Oh, right. Yes.
So I look at that
Yeah.
and I think, here's this woman, she loves to run, but she's got this little dog. And she walks at the little dog's pace.
Yeah.
Which was a little bit of a limp and so on, because the poor little thing is getting old and arthritic, but it still likes to go for a walk.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I look at that and I get so much joy out of seeing it.
Yeah.
And so I say thank you.
Yeah.
You know, it's often the little things in life. The big things, of course, we say thank you for them. But the little things.
Yeah, that's a beautiful story, and I think something you opened up with is appreciation, and you just casually said, but we miss the cues. And that's what we're addressing here, isn't it? The cues are maybe very subtle, but they're a cue of appreciation for something which then moves into gratitude. So there's another step in the pathway, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So last year when we had this long period of lockdown here in Melbourne, and you didn't go out of the house except to do your walk or to go and get some food at the shops, and all the children's playgrounds in the public parks were closed.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that time, the playgrounds were opened. And I went for my walk and I hear children's voices.
Yes, yes.
And my heart just sang. And I think, I haven't heard children excited like this for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a beautiful sound.
Yeah.
And so again, you feel this sense of, you appreciate it. I let it touch me. It did touch me. It lifted me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then the response is gratitude.
Yeah. So,
And with that comes joy.
and to get it, you have to be open. You have to be open to the sensation, the sound, the perfume, whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you walk past a flower, the colour maybe, but also the perfume strikes you, you appreciate that, and then inflows this gratitude for being alive. So it's a very cyclical process, but appreciation, as you pointed out earlier, is the first step. That's
Yes, and you know, you mentioned flowers. When you said that, I immediately got a picture of my father. He was a market gardener, so he was always out growing vegetables and stuff. And when he retired, somebody gave him an orchid, a cymbidium. He fell in love with orchids.
Ah, yes, yes.
So he started to grow orchids, and he ended up with lots of them in a glass house. And here he was well into his 80s, probably in his 90s by then. Every day he'd still go down to the glass house. And if I was home for a visit, I'd go down and call him for lunch or morning tea. And it was not unusual to find him standing in front of one of his orchids, just looking. And he was very deaf, so he never heard me come in. And I'd walk up to him until he saw me, and then he'd look up and he'd say, just look at that. Heart-stopping beauties.
Ah, yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, like for him, it wasn't a glass house full of orchids. It was this particular orchid or that particular orchid.
Yeah.
So it's like paying attention to individual things rather than seeing things en masse.
Another important word or action, paying attention.
Yes.
Letting nothing slip you by.
Yeah.
So that gratitude sits at the foundation for, in a way, and you alluded to this to start with, it's the foundation of joy, it's the foundation of the joy of being alive, is to appreciate, to be open, to focus and yet be open, and to bring that into and gratitude.
And it nurtures that relationship.
Yes.
You know, and I find that even just in our conversation, there's something about you creating the space for me to remember and to recall, but that in itself feeds my joy and my gratitude and my appreciation.
Yes.
And it creates a relationship with yourself.
That's right, exactly right, yeah.
So it happens in everything in life, you know.
And it's sort of, we're talking about the components of love, really, of course, here. And if you allow that to be generated within you, like your father, there was a component of his relationship with that orchid which was pretty much akin to love, pretty much akin to unconditional love. He received and he gave without condition to that orchid.
Yeah, and he could look at my mother with the same look.
Yes,
Right?
yes, yeah. That's so powerful. So I know I keep going back to it, but I want to go back to the dome of the sky. I want to go back to the people living in isolation and try and bring forward some where you see gratitude there. Where do you think gratitude arose in those people when they're in the middle of nowhere? They're farmers, they're isolated, they're the subject of all the vagaries of the weather. Where did gratitude arise?
I don't suppose I paid a lot of attention to that particularly, but now you ask me the question. You know, in some ways, gratitude is a pervasive attitude to life. And you know, the people out there, many of them wouldn't swap their life for anything in the city or the towns.
Yeah.
Despite the difficulties of living out there, they just loved probably what grabbed me when I was there.
Yeah.
So gratitude isn't always tied up with saying thank you.
No.
It's living with that sense of appreciation.
Exactly. You used the word attitude there. It's sort of having an attitude of gratitude.
Yes.
Is really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's, I think that's the point. It's not something which is, oh, this is gratitude and that's not. Gratitude is something which is right across the spectrum of from appreciation right across.
Yeah. And of course there is an important element in saying thank you. But it's more important to live that gratitude.
Yeah.
Because then the thank you in words comes from a deeper place because of that level of appreciation that we have. Because I do think appreciation is so important, you know, to really see what we see. To really let it in, or let that person in, whatever it might be, or that animal, or whatever it is we love.
Yes, yes. And ringing round in the back of my mind is a discourse about hope, and this is all bundles together into the components of love.
And it's hard to unravel them because you talk about one and it actually includes all the others.
Each to the other, that's right, yes. Yeah. And so we need to be open to all of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks, Corrie.
Thank you, Norm.
You're watching Love Dialogues, and we will now have a guided meditation from Francis Cassidy.
Good morning and welcome to this morning's session on gratitude. My name is Francis and I am part of the Love Dialogues team. So this morning the conversation is between Sister Corrie and Norm Curry, and they're talking about gratitude. So my role here is to capture the essence of the dialogue and then lead us into a guided meditation. So here's what I heard in today's conversation. Sister Corrie shared that for her, gratitude starts with appreciation. By expressing gratitude for the little things in life, the day-to-day gifts that often go unnoticed. Sure, she says, we are grateful for all the big things in life, but let's not forget the everyday ordinariness in life. My first thought as I open my eyes is gratitude. I thank God for the gift of another day. Being aware of your immediate surroundings, being mindful of the amazing people in your life, is how I start my day. So simply appreciating every aspect of daily experience is essential for me. I recall during periods of lockdown when we could only go out for daily walks and essential shopping. It was strange to see all the children's playgrounds empty, streets empty, and in general only walkers, many people walking their dogs. I think we all appreciated those simple little things that we could do each day. But in recent times, as the restrictions have been lifted, I have really appreciated the sounds of children in playgrounds. A real feeling of joy comes over me. Corrie then reflects on her father's love of flowers. She says in particular orchards, which he grew, and he referred to them as his real little beauties. So for Corrie, gratitude is about appreciation of the little things in life, all the things that sometimes go unnoticed, all the things that we can do. And I suppose We appreciate them more, especially during this lockdown when there were many things we couldn't do. And slowly but surely, as we come back into fewer restrictions, we're able to do some of our daily things again. So let's begin by a meditation on gratitude. And we begin by calming your mind. So as you either sit or lie down, become as comfortable as you possibly can, allowing your mind to become more comfortable. And close your eyes. And now start to focus on your breathing. Breathing a bit more deeply than you usually do. And exhaling a bit more slowly. Just observe the breath as it gently moves in and out with no effort. Observing the breath is a great way to bring the mind to a state of focus. So take your time with this breathing. Now shift your awareness from your breath back to your body. And now feeling the floor, your feet flat on the floor if you're sitting. And now think about the room or the space that you are in. How does it feel to be here? What is this place like? Begin to take notice of the little things around you. The little things that you might take for granted. Think of this room as a shelter, a haven, keeping you safe from the outside elements, keeping you well protected and comfortable. And now feel the air on your skin and notice what it feels like. Is it warm or cold? Appreciate the temperature of the air that surrounds you. And now notice the sounds in this room. Perhaps you hear a ticking clock, the hum of a fan, or the murmur of voices. Just listening, observing. Just noticing all the noises and seeing them just as noises, not as distractions. Think of each sound as an opportunity to explore your surroundings and become more mindful of all the moving parts that exist here. Just listen. Be present. You may like to pause this recording or lower the volume if necessary. Breathe deeply now and see what you can smell. Go deep as you uncover the sense that you may not realise exists in the room. Inhaling through the nose as you pick up the subtle aromas. Perhaps you smell the wood of the floor beneath you or the walls around you. Or perhaps you can smell plants or soil. Or you may notice other scents drifting in through the window. Just breathe, explore, and appreciate this moment of mindfulness. So now begin to extend your awareness to outside of your immediate surroundings. Think of your entire home and everything within it. Bring to mind the things that you use every day to help your life run more smoothly. Things like alarm clocks, refrigerators, sinks, closets, clothes. See yourself going through a normal day, but moving more slowly through it and more mindfully. Taking your time to get dressed, washing up, eating, and working. Do everything mindfully. Imagine taking the time each day to express gratitude for all these modern conveniences. Try not to dwell on the haves and the have-nots, but simply appreciate every aspect of your daily experience. And continue to breathe deeply, setting an intention to move more mindfully throughout each day, starting now. Extending your awareness now even further. Think of the world outside. Think of the blue sky, the sun, the trees that offer you shade, and the soil beneath your feet. Think of the seasons. Autumn with its deep, rich colours and crisp breeze. Picture the perfect winter day, complete with a warm cup of tea or coffee and sitting at a comforting fireplace. Breathe in the dewy freshness of the spring, watching the flowers bloom as the sun returns to the earth. Think of the low, slow, lazy days, the lazy days of summer, soaking up the sunlight, savouring the sweet, ripe fruits and the cool, refreshing drinks. Continue to express appreciation for changing of the seasons and the gifts that each one brings. It's easy to find gratitude for everything that runs smoothly in our life. But how about the bumps in the road? We can be thankful for these little life lessons too. The spilled milk, the flat tire, the endless grocery line, all the little errands or minor annoyances that pepper our days. Every mishap offers us the chance to slow down, the chance to live in the present moment and focus our attention on what matters at hand. Imagine navigating these bumps in the road with grace and ease, effortlessly going with the flow, and keeping a cool, calm head, a come what may attitude. Being present. In the words of the author G.K. Chesterton, he says, when it comes to life, the critical thing is whether you take things for granted or you take them with gratitude. Let this sentiment sink in. So let me say that again. The critical thing is whether you take things for granted or take them with gratitude. So as we commit to turning all our things that we take for granted with gratitude, let us practice gratitude and mindfulness throughout your day. Mindfully walking through your life and making an effort to notice more, feel more, and see more. Continue deep breathing, deeply integrating this idea, taking everything with gratitude. And now become aware of your body once again, feeling the floor beneath you, the air against your skin, hearing the sounds around you. Slowly allow your eyes to open. Take a moment to look around you. This is your life. You are here in this present moment. Today, you have the gift of life, the gift of breath. So as you continue your day and right through the night, remember to take everything with gratitude. And the old saying, an attitude of gratitude. Thank you for tuning in this morning or this evening. And I hope you have a lovely day.
You've been watching Maroondah Love Dialogues. You can follow us on www.jansencentre.org. Thanks again for watching, and bye for now.